Stay tuned for Airgun Detectives.
Welcome to another episode of Airgun Detectives. I'm your host, JC. And today, our Rare and Unusual series continues. And what do we have here? This is the Stoeger AT30 S2. And we'll get deep into this in a minute, but before we do that, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down there in the corner. It doesn't cost you anything, it's absolutely free, but it really does help support the channel. And I'd greatly appreciate that. Also, speaking of supporting the channel, check out my website, www.airgundetectives.com. On that channel, I have my Generation 2 bipods, as you can see, are displayed right here on the Stoeger. I've also got t-shirts, I've got hats, and those of you who have the Gammo brake barrels or any Gammo rifle that has a SAT or cat trigger, I make a trigger kit for that. Extremely inexpensive, basically equivalent to the cost of a cup of fancy coffee. It will turn that trigger into a match style trigger. It really will make all the difference in the world. So check that out. Those are available on the website. All right, let's get back to the Stoeger A30 S2. What is this exactly? It is a 22 caliber brake barrel. When they came out, they were in both 177 and 22 caliber, and they have their gas piston. The rifle itself is about 42.5 inches long, its overall length. The barrel is about 16.5 inches. And this does have a noise suppressor, and this is obviously a barrel shroud on there. The gun itself weighs 8.2 pounds, and it's about a 35-pound cocking effort. It's got a synthetic stock. This is really a neat looking stock. You guys would probably agree. It's a nice looking gun. It really is. You got a Picatinny style scope mount. There is no open sights on this model at all. Maybe some of the newer ones might have had it, but this one has no open sights. And this is not the stock trigger. This is an upgraded GRT3 trigger. And obviously the scope is not the stock scope. The stock scope was a 4x32. So I upgraded that. Actually, I did a full tune on this, eventually got to that, did a full tune on this, installed the Generation 2 bipods, upgraded to a GRT3 trigger, and upgraded the scope. But we're going to show you the performance, and this is obviously post-tune. And we'll talk about it at the end, out of the box, and how I liked it, and what I did to it, and things like that. So, but let's go out and shoot this thing. I'm going to show you guys how this performs. Now, they do not make this model anymore, the A30. They made some, I think, that were similar, and they make some similar styles, but who knows if they're as good as this one was. So let's show you the performance, and then we'll come back and talk about it. So stay tuned for the next segment. All right, let's test our Stoeger A30 over the Crony, see what type of velocity we get. Now, full disclosure, as I mentioned in the beginning, this one has been tuned. Yeah, they haven't made this model for a while. But anyway, let's go ahead and see how well it performs. Let's shoot the field target trophies. 14.66 grain. They do actually really well on this rifle, among others. And let's just see how well we do as far as velocity goes. Alright, so shot number 1. .725. Shot number 2. .719. Shot number 3. .725. Shot number 4. .722. And let's get one more. .738. Ooh, that one jumped up a little bit. Alright guys, anyway, so that's your A30. There's your velocity and your foot-pounds of energy. Pretty easy cocking effort too, probably right around that 30 pound mark, somewhere right around that. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next segment. All right, let's test the A30 out for some accuracy. We are our usual 20 yards, roughly 60 feet, my ideal break barrel shooting spot, most comfortable, most stable, and we're shielded from the wind a little bit. Go ahead and check that out real quick. You can see where our target is there. All right, we're going to be shooting some JTS pellets here, some dead centers. These are the wad cutters. They perform pretty well and they punch really nice holes in our targets, which we'll be using our 4-inch splatter burst here because it really shows the impact. I'm going to aim dead center. We'll just see how it groups and we'll go from there. So we'll shoot 5 shots. And you can see I'm shooting off my bipods, which makes a nice stable platform. So anyway, let's just shoot 5 shots and we'll see how it groups. All right, shot number 1. Okay. That would be shot number 2 here. Okay, shot number 3. And shot number 4. And one more. Can be shot number 5. There you go. Not too bad a group. You can say at least we eliminated the red dot in the center. That's completely gone. Anyway, not too bad. Let's go ahead and move on to the next segment. All right, let's test out our trigger on our A30 here. This one does have an aftermarket GRT3 trigger in it. I put that in there. Like I said, I've had this rifle for years. But we got a trusty Lyman trigger gauge. Let's see what this breaks. You know, I honestly don't think I've ever tested this one. Seriously. All right, let's see what it breaks at. 1 pound, 14 ounces. 1 pound, 14 ounces. Can't beat it. They are smooth triggers. There's no question about it. That's for sure. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next segment. All right, let's test out our A30 at some distance here. Best pellets that work for this over the 25, 30 yard mark, because we're actually at 40 yards, but the field target trophy, the 14.66, worked the best in this. We're usual plinking distance, as I mentioned, 40 yards. Go ahead and check that out real quick, and you can see we've got some steel eggs, little shotgun shell in the end, little metal pineapple. We're gonna try to knock those down. So again, field target trophies, 14.66 grain. Let's see how we do. A little bit of a breeze, not much, shouldn't be a factor. All right. Oh, let's start with the pineapple on the right side. Dismissed. Yeah, that thing went flying. Can only capture so much of that on the camera, but that thing literally went about 15 feet in the air, spun. All right, next. Steel egg. Oh yeah. Yeah, this thing hits good. All right. Let's another steel egg. Okay. Let's move on to the shotgun shell at the end because I don't want to accidentally knock that over and see if we can hit that thing. All right. It's a skinny little target. Oh, no, I just hit just to the right of that one. Could have been me. I'll take the blame for that. All right. There we go. And let's see the steel pipe here at the end. Whoa, not sure about that one. That looked, honestly, it was a flyer. Could have been a indented skirt. You know, some of these pellets, if they seat in really good, but every once in a while you'll get one that just slides in real easy, and that's a little but it's a little late once you push it into the breech. Anyway, let's see. All right, there you go. Anyway, yeah, this thing is it's a pretty accurate rifle, especially once it's been tuned, set up the way it is with the trigger and that. It really is. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. All right, let's wrap this up with our conclusion. Our Stoeger AT30 S2. I would say that performance was pretty good overall. It really was. Fun rifle to shoot. It really is. Let's talk about the negatives. I'm going to talk about the negatives out of the box when I got this thing initially. Okay, the trigger, bad trigger. Heavy, not really adjustable. That is why we upgraded to the GRT 3 on this one. And I've had this gun for years, quite a few years, that's for sure. It also came with a real lousy scope. It was just a 4x32, non-adjustable, no mil dot, just a straight wire. Really run-of-the-mill, inexpensive scope. Sometimes I wonder, why do they even waste their money putting those in the box? I mean, it's just, I'd rather them lower the price of the gun and have you go out and get your own scope, for sure. The accuracy on it was, when I first had it, was okay, and I really improved it with the tune. I really did. Definitely improved that. Also, about a month after I had this gun, it was setting, I was getting ready to shoot it. It was setting on a shooting table, and all of a sudden I heard a hissing sound. I said, no, that didn't. Sure enough, the gas piston completely leaked. However, I sent it back to the retailer. They swapped it out, sent me another one. Have had no issue with the piston since. No issue whatsoever. So let's get into more of the positives. Okay, I really like the looks of the stock. It's very solid. It was a perfect setup for the Generation 2 bipods. I mean, look at this shooting foundation. It's just awesome. Very stable. It's perfect. The trigger now, I really like the trigger. Obviously, we upgraded it to the GRT 3. We're getting good accuracy now. You guys saw we were shot a pretty decent group at 20 yards, and then we hit all our little objects in our plinking session. So you can't really complain about that. That's for sure. We also got really good power out of this thing. Think about it. We're getting about 17 foot-pounds of energy. And this is a non-magnum. Remember, the cocking effort on this is roughly around that 35 pounds, right around there. So this is a non-magnum, but we're getting about 17 foot-pounds of energy, which is pretty decent. The suppressor on this actually works pretty good, the built-in. It's definitely backyard friendly. I really like the Picatinny scope mount that they put on here. It makes a very, very solid foundation when you're mounting your optic. It really does. So overall, it's really a good-looking rifle. It really is, and not a bad performance. So how would I rate this? Originally out of the box, I would have to give it 4 stars for the negatives that I mentioned it before. Now it's tuned up and it's really a fun rifle to shoot. I would say a solid 4.5 stars now. So we definitely bumped it up a half star with our upgrades. Maybe even 4 3/4, but we'll just say 4.5 stars. So overall, fun performing rifle. I don't know much about the Stoegers nowadays. Don't have much communication with that manufacturer at all. So anyway, this is the one I had, and this is the one we reviewed. So again, I want to thank you for tuning in to Airgun Detectives. Don't forget the Rare and Unusual series. We do 1 series a month of a gun that is either no longer manufactured, which makes it pretty rare, or maybe one that's still currently manufactured that's really unusual. So it's our rare and unusual series, and you'll get one of those episodes every month until I run out of material. And I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, because a lot of these rifles that I purchased, I've been around long enough that they quit manufacturing a lot of them. So I will be showing those to you. So once again, don't forget, this is where we take the mystery out of the air gun. I hope you and your families are doing well, and you are getting plenty of shooting in. So take care, and God bless.